Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Depends if you're watching this on a recording or live. Once again, my name is Alberto Vogt, Regional Sales Manager for Immunotech in the east of the United States, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you. Last day of our Empowerment Power Week Zoom. So thank you all for connecting with us and for all your support throughout the week. And I know these calls have been great for you to do to empower you to do the activities, the daily activities that you need to do to have a powerful close of the month. And I want to start by congratulating all of you that have been, very active on the chat. So starting with Dale Puerini, she commented that she had a Discover Immunotech Zoom on Monday, and about 80 people attended the event, and some new faces, some old faces, but all good. And she said that she was getting psyched to do a leadership academy in May as well, and really wanted to focus on team members who let their memberships expire over the last few years and make the offer of new renewal special just for them. Remember, we still have the $19.99 renewal special for those people that have been inactive for more than a year. So keep spreading the word. Also, today she commented that she had a tip from her husband, Lou Puerini, Diamond Consultant as well, that she put into action. And she wrote that we got a list from the back office, the download report of all their team members' emails. And this includes my other diamonds and their teams. And she said that with the Outlook email, she was able to send individual emails to all of them that have a weekly schedule with the flyers to all of the Zoom events, both teams and corporate. And for her, these individual team members go back 12 years, and it has proved helpful to get some back and interested and asking questions again. So yeah, reach out to all those inactives. Also, Ivana Gonzalez, she continues to be very active in social media. She posted a reel in her Instagram showing her son and daughter preparing immunocal. So way to go, Ivana. Donna Phillips, she shared a photo with two new prospects in the gym and gave them some samples of the Shake It Up as well. And Nelly, she visited her other next door neighbor with the Magalog. And immediately before even opening the Magalog, she said, "You tell me what I should get. Tell me what you take." And right there and then in her laptop, she opened it up and placed the order. And it was a good size order of as a preferred customer. So congratulations to Nelly. David Commerce, he sent, some people asked about where to find the stamp label to put the labels, the information on the back of the Magalog. And David shared information about it and offer some tips about getting it cheaper. Carla, congratulations to Carla Arreola, close to Diamond. So we're rooting for you, Carla. She shared a photo training new consultants and presenting the product and business opportunity in a restaurant with the restaurant owner and doing a couple of video call presentations there as well. So congratulations, Carla. And she also signed up a new customer after her exercise class. So congrats. And Elaine Kern, what about Elaine? She was interviewed by a Women's Business Network Group fellow member who is her financial rep on direct sales business model. And after she asked for referrals, looking for anyone interested in looking for ways to improve overall health and wellness. And she also shared how pleased she is with living better, feeling strong, and sustain energy throughout the day and sleeping well at night. And believe me, she really got a lot of attention because of that. And Marilyn Romero, she used the suggestion shared by Doug McNabb on our last call on Wednesday to use the "if I would you" and had 4 yeses. So congratulations to all of you, and keep posting information on the chat because we want to see your activities throughout the weekend until the end of the month. And with that, now I will pass that on the call to Denzel so that he can tell us a little bit about the RSM tip of the week to continue with our call. Go ahead, Denzel.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Alberto. Super happy to be here with you guys today. I know it's been an incredible week. Lots of traction, as you can hear. Alberto, he said, you guys were just active, showing the testimonies. That is what it's all about, right? Power Week, it's about having that interaction, seeing the results, and also motivating each other. But I have a quick question. Right now, we are actually closing the month. And I have a personal question for you. And please go ahead and put it in the chat if possible. When you think about closing the month, or when you think about end of the month, what is it the first thing that comes to your mind? When you think about end of the month, we're closing the month, what is the first thing that comes to your mind, especially right now in your business as we close the month? Can someone share with us real quick? Let's see here. I'll give you guys a little bit of a minute. But when you think about end of the month and closing out the month, what is it what comes to your mind? What's my volume? Fabulous. Okay, excellent. What else comes to mind? I see you all typing, so we'll wait. How many lives can touch to get better with the promo for a month? Okay. Reaping what we planted. How can I get more orders? Closing strong. I love it. And that's actually what end of the month is about, right? Like, make sure my hubby and I order my Immunica for the next month. There you go. So as you can see, trending for end of the month, there's several things that come to mind, right? And one of the most important things is when we reflect on what we do in the month is the celebration part, right? Because you have a whole month of working with your teams, driving several hours to be with your prospects, all the time that you invest. And now, end of the month is where you're reaping the results, as Carla said, because of what you created the whole month. So end of the month is to celebrate your personal achievements, but not only your personal ones. You want to make sure you celebrate those of your teams as well. So right now, we're going to go through a few slides before we touch base with our special guest speaker today. And one of the most important parts is, as we end the month and we close the month and we see everything that we have done, one of the most important things that we have to remember and we have to consider is we have to stay motivated by remembering our why. What is happening with nowadays societies? Everything is automated, right? We wake up and everything is just the same every single day. But we have to reflect on why we're doing what we're doing, right? Why are we doing the business of Immunitech? We have to reflect, we have to think about it, because there's several components about it. If just building your Immunitech business just becomes something that's just nature, eventually, what's going to happen with that? Right? Maybe your motivation can go a little bit lower. Maybe you forget the reason why you joined, but that's exactly, we want you to reflect on why you joined the business, right? Why did you join Immunitech? Remember your why. Have that clear vision of why you're doing what you're doing. What happens with this? There's a side effect to it, because what motivated you to be successful, a successful consultant, is the reason why you joined the company, right? So if you reflect on that, it gives you that fresh idea of, hey, I shouldn't be frustrated about something, right? I shouldn't be thinking about negative thoughts. I actually should think about the big why and what are actually the goals that I have and how am I going to accomplish them, in order for you to keep that motivation abroad and to remember exactly why you're going to be staying focused and motivated. That's exactly what's going to keep you pushing, right? So just think about that, reflect on it. Those are very important points on having that motivation going. Because as you all know, we're all human beings. Sometimes that motivation can come down a little bit, right? But that fresh reminder is what's going to keep us to push forward. Another important point is to be persistent and keep reaching out to prospects. As we all know, this business is about bringing new people into the business, right? It can be customers, it can be consultants, but we have to have more people in our organizations for us to be able to accomplish our goals. But one of the things that we also have to keep in mind, if you already talk to your neighbors, if you already talk to your contacts, and you feel like you have no people anywhere to reach out, Guys, I have a great solution for you. There is thousands, millions of people out there that are your potential customer, that are your potential prospect to be the future consultant. And remember something, the more we overthink about things, the less we're going to take action, right? And that's something that plays with our mind sometimes. But the more we think about, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? What happens? That little fear gets into you, right? And say, no, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Well, if you think about something, don't be afraid. Take action. Talk to the person. You may never see that person again. So that opportunity that you have in front of you is a very unique opportunity. Just take action. If you're passionate about what you're doing, because we're all passionate, it's going to be way easier for you to talk with people. And you never know that future person that you talk to, that can be the person that's going to take you to the next level or the next rank that you're looking for. And just remember that each effort brings you closer to reaching your goal. So don't be afraid, take actions, and you'll be able to see the fruits of that action that you took at that moment. And this one right here about celebrating, I believe this is one of the most important ones for me. Sometimes we forget something very important, to celebrate every step of success. Celebrate the accomplishments that you're making throughout the month. I always say, if you one new customer in your organization or one new customer that you personally sponsored, you better celebrate it, right? That new prospect, that new customer can be your future potential new consultant, right? That new consultant that joined can be your next big hit. So celebrate every single step of success. In order for you to get to where you want to, you must celebrate. And I always put this example. If you're actually wanting to achieve a certain rank, let's say you want to hit diamond and you're a gold, what happens if you every month you're going to your goals, you're getting the new customers, you're getting new consultants, your organization is growing, but maybe you don't hit the ranks at the certain time that you're thinking of. You may get frustrated, right? And demotivated. But guess what happens if you actually celebrate every new customer, celebrate every new consultant? What happens? Automatically, you know you're making progress. Automatically, you know that what you're doing, you fall in love with the process in order for you to hit those goals, right? So just keep that in mind. Celebrate your personal achievements, and not only yours, but also from your organization. That's also a great touching point, right? When a new consultant enters in the business, wow, give a call to that consultant, congratulate them for doing what they're doing. That's gonna boost the confidence and motivation, not only for yourself, but for your teams. And that always gives an amazing results. And over here, touching base about the same thing, we talked about onboarding new consultants, new customers, but there's also something we have to celebrate. We have to celebrate the new ranks. Celebrate how many new consultants joined the business. Celebrate how many customer sales that happened throughout the whole month. Right now, we have My Immunitech. I don't know if you're using it, but highly recommend it. Use it. That's where you can see how you're trending month after month, year after year, and you're able to track exactly the projections and exactly the percentages of how many customers enter your business, how many consultants, what's the decrease, or was there an increase. Those things you're able to see it from your team members as well. So you're able to give them a call and celebrate that with them. And obviously, if they're decreasing, great opportunity to reach out to them and offer your help, right? To help them so that they can continue to grow. And this is exactly what we want. We want the morale to keep on growing. We want to create the positive environment. And we want to make sure that everyone is winning at every entry level and that they feel that support that comes from us. So the conclusion, every moment counts. We have to stay motivated. We have to be persistent. And one of the most important things, I repeat it, celebrate your personal and team achievements. Those are going to be the key component to keep you motivated, to keep you going, and to never give up on your dreams. So those were the few touching points from the RSMs for today. But we have a special guest speaker, and I just want to give a big shout out to John. Incredible. It's actually his 40th anniversary. So everyone, please give him a round of applause, right? This month on the 18th, 40th year in the industry, guys. This is what we have here in Immunitech. Incredible legacy leaders that are leading by example, and we all are able to learn from that. As a matter of fact, if you haven't seen it, he was featured in US Insider as a true icon of the network marketing industry. So we have so much potential here at Immunitech, and we have the great leaders that are going to be able to teach us, able to motivate us, and able to help us grow organically. So John, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your time, and the mics are yours.
Well, thank you, Denzel. And hey, Keith, do me a favor, just go to the chat thing and put that article up if you would. But yeah, 40 years, it was 40 years last Tuesday, right after the convention. And you do something for 40 years, sometimes you think they're talking about somebody else, but I can think of all the meetings, all the events, all the travel, all the stuff over all these years, and 26, and the best 26, by the way, of those 40 has been here at Immunitech. But Denzel asked me to talk about a couple of things today. He actually asked me to talk about one, but I'm going to talk about two, because you've been around 40 years, you got the luxury of saying, well, hey, I'm legally a senior citizen now, Denzel, so I can't follow instructions because I can't remember things the way I used to. But that's not really true, because I got Cogniva on my desk here. Anyway, so I do want to, when you're around people that have done this for a long time, be it Immunitech or be it network marketing, take notes, okay? I had lunch with Jim Rohn. I hear people reference Jim Rohn all the time. I knew the guy, okay? I had lunch with him. One of my colleagues at a company that I was vice president of worked for him. My mentor worked with him at Herbalife, okay? So I knew Jim. And Jim, I was sitting with Jim having lunch here in Dallas with Ron Reynolds and Charlie Regis. And Jim looked up at one point and he said, John, he said, you're the youngest guy here. You can still be saved. And I thought he was going to make a religious point there. I thought the Lord was going to hit me with a lightning bolt like Saul of Tarsus. But what happened instead was, I knew his point. When you were listening to people that have been doing stuff a long time, take notes. And none of us had our diaries with us. We used to call them diaries back then. Today, I know people take notes on their phone and their laptop and whatever. But he made that point, and you would have thought I was Usain Bolt getting up from that table, running to my car to get my journal so I could come back, my diary, my journal, whatever you want to call it, to take notes. And he made a salient point that day. He said, John, Charlie, Ron, what if this young waiter that's waiting on us, and he used to talk, he had his glasses on top of his head if you ever saw him speak all the time. It was a little guy, but it wasn't very tall. But anyway, he said, what if the waiter makes some salient point and walks away and you never see the waiter again? Maybe it's not a point that one of us are going to make. Maybe it's a point that the waiter's going to make. You want to capture it in your notes. So once again, you see me at an event, I'm taking notes. And you might say, why is the guy 40 years, senior platinum, blah, blah, blah. Why is he taking notes? Because I don't know it all. I'm still a student. When you stop being a student, you start failing in life. When you continue being a student, you continue to learn, and it keeps life interesting. So take notes, okay? You've heard some great stuff. I listened to the replay of Doug's call. I listened to the replay of Dorothy's call. Dorothy's going to be a guest on my show on Monday, by the way. We're going to record Dorothy for an upcoming podcast. Super energy that girl's bringing to the table. Love her. But anyway, let me talk about what Denzel asked me to talk about so he doesn't get mad at me, because he's younger than me and he can run a lot faster. So he asked me to talk, first of all, about working smarter rather than harder. So I'll give you a couple of examples. When we started Immunitech, hopefully you guys can see this. That's a cassette tape. Now, Denzel, you weren't born when we stopped using these, by the way. Okay, Alberto remembers these. Okay, Keith Hooper still has them in his car, probably. But this little cassette tape I put together said, why the medical discovery of the 21st century led us to walk away from blank, blank, blank dollars a month. I can't say that for compliance, how much money I was making elsewhere. But I left another company to come to this company and started scratch, because I got the value of what the product was doing for my mom. But how many of you today would want to get cassette tapes, if you could even find a place to make them, get cassette tapes and stick them in the mail at about $3 to $4 a piece, okay, of the cassette tape cost and the mailing cost and the postage cost and the envelope cost, mail them out to people, hope they listen to them? Probably nobody. You would think, wow, what an archaic idea. Well, that was only 26 years ago. We built big businesses with cassette tapes. Today, you pick up your iPhone, right? You pick up this, or the other thing, I forget what they call it. Yeah, I got an iPhone. I don't know the other one, right? Android, I guess called. And you pick it up, and you got an app on there that Mauricio Domenzane and Immunitech Research gives you for free with videos that are professionally done that you can go, oh, Alberto's interested. Alberto, what's your email address? Bing. What's your phone number? Bing. And you can send it to him for free. Wow. That's an example of working smarter and harder. I can send out multiple communications on a daily basis that way for free of professionally done presentations. Now, why the professional done presentation, by the way? Why do I not want to do it myself? Because you've got to have what's called universal access. Put that in your notes, universal access if you're going to build a big business. Somebody, when they interviewed me for the article that Keith has put up there, the guy writing the article said, you know, you've had networks. And by the way, this is not my first network marketing business. It's not the first one I've been successful at. Okay. I've hit the top rank in 5 companies in the 40-year career. So I've had millions, literally millions of distributors around the world in my network. How do you get there? You get there being duplicatable. You get there giving universal access. Okay. In other words, every tool on that app gives you universal access. You sponsor somebody this afternoon, right? Somebody, Alberto was referencing somebody who sponsored somebody earlier today, I believe. That person has the same ability that Ricardo Palaio, Keith Hooper, John Solleder, Wally Kralik, Sandy Walper, or anybody else who's been here for a long time has. Same access. Same presentation done right each and every time. See, here's what happens when you use the tools. The tools never screw up. You can screw up. You can have a bad day. You could be fighting with your wife. You could be, you know, you could have got up on the wrong side of the bed. The dog could have barked all night. A million other things can happen when you're presenting. But what happens when you use a tool that's consistent, be it the Magalog that some of you are using, be it the videos that are used on the app, etc. Those are all examples of working smarter rather than harder and letting the tools work for you. And by the way, in 40 years, I have to tell you, the tools have changed a lot just in Immunotech since 1997. Okay, and they're going to continue to evolve. Denzel mentioned the my Immunotech, super tool, super. I mean, wow, the data that thing gives you. Some of it's a little scary, frankly. Okay, especially at month end. But at the end of the day, it's a tool. It's another thing that's going to elevate your business and your opportunity and your ability. And put these words around in your notes also, to build a financial fortress around yourself and your family in the times that we're living in. Because folks, I don't need to tell you, everything's doubled or tripled in price in the last year, and we don't know this time next year what it's going to look like. No idea. Okay. But if I had to guess, probably going to be worse, not better. So that being the case, we need to put economic fortresses around our families, financial fortresses. How do we do that? We get really, really smart at applying the tools that the company has spent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to develop, so we can go out to the marketplace as the end line of distribution and make the 90% of the revenue that we get as distributors of what the company pays out. Now, I know you say, well, we pay out 47%. Yeah, we about 90% of the sales are paid out to distributors, okay, in a network marketing business. So at the end of the day, you and I, okay, not Alberto, not Denzel, sorry guys, okay, you and I as independent distributors, we get the lion's share of the money because we take the product, the finished product to market. Utilize those tools to the best of your ability. If you're not familiar with one, get through your month end, get to your rank. Here's another thing. People say all the time, how have you built all these big organizations over the years? Well, it's really simple. I believe that you pay attention to your rank first, and your personally sponsored people's rank second, and your downlines ranks third. Well, now you got a great tool to do that, by the way, with this My Immunotech thing, but let's pretend it didn't exist for a minute. Be cognizant of where you're at. If you're close to gold today, you have until Sunday night at midnight to get your orders done. If you're at 27,000 points of qualified volume, what do you need? You need 30. Go get that 3,000 points. Don't say, well, you know, my silver check might be about the same as my gold check. I want to take the weekend off. I want to watch the Red Sox or the NHL playoffs or the NBA playoffs, or I want to get your business done, because that's going to take care of your ability to do all those other things you want to do in your life. Understand? Okay. If you're close to diamond, somebody on this call is close to diamond, I believe, based on some earlier comments I heard. Well, that individual, you be on your numbers. If you don't understand something, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but if you don't understand something, that's why you have a sponsor. Okay. If that person's not available or can't answer your question, go to their sponsor. If they're not available, go to one of your regional managers, be it at Denzel, be it Alberto, be it Sarah, okay? Be it Mauricio. I don't care who you go to, but get the job done. Don't leave money on the table when you're close to a rank like Diamond. Do not leave the money on the table. Get there. Do what you got to do. Employ yourself. If you got to take a bunch of extra sharp between now and Sunday night to stay awake to get those orders in, you do it because it's your responsibility to build your business. Get that done and take Monday off and have a good day. Okay? Go to the beach Monday, but don't go to the beach on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday when you're close to a rank. Okay? That's how you close month end. You, personally sponsored, and your team, and they're personally sponsored. Okay, now let me talk about the other thing that I want to talk about. All right. I'm really excited about this new product, Shake It Up. But I want to talk to you from my other life for a minute. Yeah, you guys know me at Immunitech. You guys know me at multi-level. You guys know me as a podcaster and an author and all that other stuff, and that's terrific. But you may not know I've been involved with athletics literally my entire life. Starting at 9 years old, I've been involved. I've competed every year of my life since the age of 9 in something. Okay. Kid, baseball, football, wrestling, transitioned to judo, jiu-jitsu, sambo. As I got older, powerlifting, track and field. Okay. I've competed. Literally last weekend, I competed right here in Waco, Texas. Okay. In a powerlifting meet. Okay. I won a medal. Actually, I won 2 medals. Set a state record even for my age group. The old guy group. And like Keith always says, well, you're the only one in the group. So, but there's some truth to that, but I still got to lift the weights. But let's talk about that for a minute. Okay. We're always looking for new business in a business like this, aren't we? We're always looking for how do I get more business, right? How do I get, we talked about that a second ago, rank and all that. How do I do that consistently? All right. So let's talk about using a specific product, Shake It Up, to do that. So put in your notes, weight-centric, CENTRIC sports, weight-centric sports. What are weight-centric sports? Let me give you a couple of quick examples. Wrestling, powerlifting, weightlifting, judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, rowing, believe it or not, and horseback riding, racing, what do they call it? Horse racing, professional horse racing, right? Sport of Kings, I can't remember that. Anyway, there's 8 sports right there. Now, I don't know too many jockeys. You might. Thank you, Keith. I don't know too many jockeys. You might. You might be in Kentucky or someplace where, horse racing is a big sport. But let me talk about stuff that you can do to get business, okay? Let me go back to Waco last weekend. The Thursday at the convention, I took my weight and I was 4 pounds over my weight class, okay? So I was 4 pounds heavy. So if I had weighed in, I would have to lift in a higher weight class against bigger competitors, stronger competitors. I wanted to make my weight class. I told Mauricio, I said, I'm 4 pounds over. I said, here's what I'm going to do, because I knew all weekend I'd be eating. I knew Monday morning I'd weigh in about 6 pounds over my weight class. I had to weigh in last Friday. We could go today. I took this product once a day at dinner time. In other words, I replaced my meal at dinner time, okay, with the new Shake It Up product. Tastes delicious, by the way, cold water, man. It's a treat, I got to tell you. You don't feel like you're taking a diet product. But more importantly than that, I took that product, which gave me the ability to intermittent fast a little bit, right? Only had those calories in me from about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on, through my sleep cycle, through getting up the next day. I went to my weigh-in last Friday morning, and from Monday morning, 6 pounds over. Friday morning, I'd lost 7.5 pounds since then. So 1.5 pounds net loss, okay, from where I was on Monday. Made my weight. Now, you say, well, that's great, you made your weight. How did you feel that I made my weight? And by the way, I had to drive almost 3 hours each way to do that. So I had that in there as well. And by the way, I'll be 62 next month. So I'm not a young kid when I do this stuff. So here's what happened. I went in strong. I went 3 for 3 in my lifts, 3 for 3. In other words, I had 3 lifts and I nailed all 3 of them. Okay. And why is that important? Well, it's important to me. I didn't do any major weight. Okay. At this point in my life, I'm just doing this for fun. The meet director's a buddy of mine. I went to support the meet, love the sport, love the camaraderie. I also go, by the way, to meet people. Okay. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. Anyway, I got my 3 lifts. During the course of that, there's a young guy who I notice is got juices over along the wall, right? Some juices that he made. So I went over to him and I said, by the way, I said, do you have a nitric oxide juice? And he said, yeah, I sure do. Well, nitric oxide juice, basically, for an athlete is what? It's beets, sometimes mixed with strawberries, blueberries, etc. He happened to have one, so I bought one from him, struck up a conversation, got his business card, told him a little bit about sport. Okay, my other product I want to mention to you here, right, which you're all aware of. I don't really need to hold this up, but you know what it looks like. And mentioned that to him, and I said, by the way, do you mind if I mix this up right here? He said, sure. So I took that beautiful beet juice that he had prepared. I paid him for it. I put my sport in. I gave it a good shake, let it sit for a minute, gave it another good shake, started drinking it. Now, it was 32 ounces, by the way, so I wasn't going to be able to drink it that quickly. There you go. Hey, I can see myself. Wow. Even got my IPA powerlifting shirt on today. I didn't even realize that. Anyhow, where I'm going with this is very simple. I was strong. I felt good. I felt enthusiastic. So now let's come back to how do we gain business from this product? I mentioned wrestling, I mentioned judo, I mentioned jiu-jitsu, I mentioned boxing, I mentioned powerlifting, I mentioned weightlifting, I mentioned harness racing. Okay, I've mentioned rowing. Rowing, believe it or not, your colleges, if you live in a college town and they have a rowing team, they have a light man's division, a light woman's division, and a heavier division. Those athletes have to weigh in. They have to be a cumulative weight. I don't know a lot about rowing, but they have to be a cumulative weight below a certain level to compete in the lower level, in the lower weight division. Okay, so there's 8 sports right there. Every one of you lives in a community, and I don't know where you all live, but every one of you lives in a community with a high school. Probably multiple high schools. Like I live in North Dallas, for example. Okay. My community here, we have 4 schools that wrestle. When I get up to Allen, Texas, McKinney, Texas, okay, there's another 5 schools, high schools that wrestle. And by the way, girls wrestling is now very big in Texas and throughout the country. It's an Olympic sport. So it's boys and girls, right? About 100 athletes roughly on a good sized high school team, depending on where you live in the country. If you live in the Midwest, for example, you might find more. If you live in California, some of the Western states, you might find a little less. You live in the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Connecticut, Massachusetts, all big wrestling states. Point being, every one of those schools has a coach, a head coach. Every one of those schools has an athletic director. And every one of those schools has roughly, give or take, 100 athletes where they have to make weight on a weekly basis during the season, normally twice, depending on what night. Some schools wrestle Tuesday nights and Friday nights, some it's a weekend, it doesn't really matter. Okay, but they have to make weight. And what happens to those boys and girls during that season is they're trying to lose that weight. And then here's what happens. You make weight, you step on the scale, you make weight. Then guess what you do? Then you go the other direction. You go and you eat too much. And then you step on the scale the next morning after you compete, and you're 4 or 5 pounds heavier than your weight class. And then what do? Well, maybe I wrestled on Friday night, that's Saturday. By Tuesday, I got to be back on weight. And this goes on from November till March. Just in wrestling. I'm just talking about one sport here. Every one of these sports has similarities in this respect. Every one of the parents and the athletic directors, if they're good ones, and the coaches, if they're good ones, and most are good people, by the way, they care about the kids, are concerned about those kids getting sick. They're still students. They still have a responsibility in the classroom. And second to that, they don't want them getting mononucleosis. When you cut weight, you are a firm candidate for mononucleosis, which will destroy your season, could destroy an athletic scholarship if you're that good and you're a senior, and a lot of ramifications getting sick, okay? So what this product, I believe, will do, all right, this new Shake It Up product, is it'll give those athletes the ability to, number 1, stay strong, number 2, stay healthy, because it's a very pure protein source that they've put in this, okay, and number 3, give them something good, okay, to put in their bodies to supplement with. They can use it before and after practice, they can use it during their weight cutting cycle, et cetera, et cetera. Your job is to get it in the hands of the coaches and the athletic directors. Okay? Not the kids. Kids can't buy it. They're underage. But if the athletic director and the coach like it, and the strength coach likes it, guess what? You might wind up with 5 or 10 people using your product that are on that sports team, that specific sports team. Now, what else could happen there? What does mom do? She goes, well, Junior lost, weight during the wrestling season. That stuff tastes pretty good. I tried one. How do I get that shaken up product? Because I need to lose 10 pounds because we have a wedding in June. Dad says, hey, you know what? Yeah, it would help me to lose a little weight. Yeah, let's get on that product. Next thing you know, mom, dad, and the kids are on the product. You got yourself a new customer, maybe even a new distributor. That's how the weight loss business works, folks. I've been on and off, weight loss products for 40 years. That's how it works. That's really how it works. It's just that simple. Care about those athletes, care about those coaches, care about them having access to our product. And it's local business, by the way. I'm not telling you get on an airplane and fly across the country and see somebody. I'm telling you, go knock on your local high school coach's door. Okay? Go knock on your AD's door. Make them aware of it. Now, in conjunction with that, what else we got? Okay? We got sport, which you can't see where. There it is. You got sport. Okay, nitric oxide, very important in recovery. And you've also got platinum. All right. Now, should those athletes be exposed to those products? Of course they should. Okay. Can they mix them together? Yes, they can. What a beautiful cocktail this makes, by the way, with the vanilla, with the sport. Man, it's delicious. Okay. And it's about, give or take 300 calories. All right. So if I'm cutting weight, and once again, I want to put pure protein in my body, I want to recover, I want to protect my immune system, and I also want to protect my cardiovascular system, sport. Okay. If I just purely want to recover, platinum. Okay. Anyway, you can educate them as you go, but I wanted to bring that up for a reason. We're talking a good game here about trying to be a sports related company. And we've got some great professional and Olympic athletes using our product, and that's terrific. But at the end of the day, the athletic cycle starts young. The high school athlete should be exposed to our products, and this is a way to get in there. Am I telling you it's easy? Am I telling you the coaches are going to say, sure, come on in, talk to my team? No. You're going to have to go through the process, okay? You're going to have to go through the vetting. You're going to have to give some information. There's going to have to be some dialogue because these people just don't endorse products. But you can get in there. Now, let me come back to last week a little bit, okay? I know I'm talking way too long here. I'm looking at my watch, so I'll cut this short. But how do you make contacts? So you become that go-to person for the Immunotech products in your community. Go support your local teams. Go to that high school wrestling match. Even if you never had a kid that wrestled, it's okay. Go to that high school football game. Go to that high school basketball game. Get to know people in the community that way. And they will spread the word. The parents will spread the word amongst the other parents. Hey, see that lady over there? Go talk to her. She's the one that, Joey's getting that product from. And gee, Joey's doing great. Joey's looking like he might get a Division I scholarship. Joey's like healthy. His grades are good, blah, 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 blah. Mom and dad are happy. The kid's happy and healthy. The coach is happy and healthy. And guess what? It'll spread in your community. So before you know it, you're going to have a bunch of new business. These could be total strangers. All right. But it's a way. So Immunotech, we started this conversation about tools. This is a tool. Yes, it's a product, but this is a tool to get people to talk to you once again. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. I hope that helped. If you have questions, just pass them through Alberto or Denzel. I'm happy to answer them for you. I'm not going to tell you that this is easy, but I'm going to tell you, if you knock on enough doors with the idea, okay, of we want to help your athletes stay healthy from a company that's helped people for 26 years to be healthy, that's based on 47 years of evidence-based science. We now have another product in that category. And oh, by the way, we also have the Immunical as the backup plan. But let's help your athlete be strong, healthy throughout the season. So he or she, gets through the season unscathed because of a weight cut. Okay. So that's what I got. Alberto, Denzel, anything else?
John, thank you. Thank you. Incredible tools. I'm pretty sure. I hope you all were writing notes, right? That was the first thing in the beginning. Capture them notes. Make sure you use all the tools that John just said. Make sure you use all the tools that Immunotech provides for you. And John said something very important, and I have it here clearly written down. it gives you universal access, right? So let's make sure we use all the tools. Let's elevate the business. Let's make sure we keep on that celebration, keep writing the notes, keep learning, keep falling in love with the process. And as John just mentioned, if you have any questions, we're here to help and serve you in any ways. So let's keep being a student of a student, and let's keep learning, and let's keep on growing. And with that, want to wish you all an incredible end of the month, and make sure you're aware of what's going around, because this is the last days where the magic happens, right? So guys, let's have an incredible closeout. Happy April, and we shall see you soon.